Shalom, Kahala, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Bekakadash. Much honors and respect to the apostles and others, the great millstone, and to all the brothers out there doing the work in sincerity and truth, rightfully dividing the word of truth. You do it through your precepts. I say Shalom, back for another quick 4-part lesson. We're going to title it, of course, WW3, News and Prophecy. Let's get right into it. This is an article here from Al Jazeera. Defiant Khamenei, right, the supreme leader of Iran, says, all right, Iran will never surrender to the U.S. All right, Iranian supreme leader says U.S. strikes on nuclear sites did nothing significant. That's because they removed the stuff, okay? And now nobody knows where it's at. And they still have their 60% of uranium, okay? And they have their, what they call centrifuges, all right, are still in place, okay? So, anyway, let's get into this, all right? A little more before we start hitting some scriptures here. All right, so Iran Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei addresses the nation in front of a portrait of his predecessor, the late founder of the Islamic Republic, Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, on June 26, 2025, all right? Iran Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has said Iran will never surrender to the United States, striking a defiant tone in his remarks since the ceasefire with Israel took hold, all right? So, first of all, let's, clarify here, okay? They sneaked attack, did a Pearl Harbor on them. They had... planted people inside of Iran, because Iran's a big nation, people. And, recently, 3 of them were just exterminated, okay, of spies, okay? So anyway, they got away early. They got, a sucker punch in, but then Iran, got control of everything. And you know what happened ever since. They did nothing but, put a kind of whip ass on them, okay? So, and of course, that's why Israel went to a blackout. Anyway, the point is this, okay? A 12-day war within 5 days, right? Within 5 days since their start of attack on the 13th, Netanyahu was begging Trump to end the war. And what does Trump do? Instead of ending the war, he comes into the war. Or, again, he was trying to get Trump to come in, and he does come in, and he goes to bomb these sites. But understand, they did nothing. It was like bombing empty buildings, okay? So, mission not accomplished, all right? Now, they still have their 60% of uranium. You need to understand that. Okay, so in reality, probably another 5 months from now, okay, because obviously the answer is, now they don't have to do it, okay, now they're following advice from Russia. Russia likes to do everything politically, okay, and as well as China. They like to play by the rules, of course. Israel and the United States, and NATO and the EU, they don't play by rules, right? They break international law. They break, the laws of the UN Charter. Okay, so it's all this stuff has been exposed. Even Grossi of the IAEA. All right, that guy, he lied. All right, and he told them where everything was. Because they were in they're in the JCPOA, the Nuclear Proliferation Treaty, all right? So they have options here, okay? They have options. Now, Russia, by being in the JOCPA, and the same thing with China, they can't give them nuclear warheads, okay? They can't do that. But what Russia wants to do is try, and China is create an umbrella where they don't need nuclear weapons. Like they said, they don't want any, in the first place because they didn't have any. They weren't trying to create any. And they're entitled to their civilian nuclear program, all right, to have that energy and to make isotopes, for cancer and all that. But if that doesn't work out, okay, they have the other options. Like I said, in 5 months, all right, they can continue, they can get to their 90%, and they can create, at least 9, if not more, warheads. 5 months from now, they would have been able to do that. Now, they can go that route, right, if the political umbrella doesn't work, okay? And then there's also another route. The other route is that Pakistan or North Korea are willing to give nuclear warheads onto Iran. So I see nothing but a win-win for Iran, okay? And Iran is not going to fall because Russia and China are not going to let Iran fall like, Syria. That's not going to happen, people. Iran is the key point here. The United States, they think, these Edomite fellows, the bankers, they think that this is the weakest point to attack. Now, of course, you see Russia, fighting Ukraine. They've proven themselves, and so has Iran, okay? And they keep talking about this thing about China. Look, there ain't going to be no war with China. Taiwan is going to join, back up with China. They have a thing to, look like, Malaysia, Singapore. That's their future. They're all about business. They're not about war. Okay? So, but if they were attacked, you know damn well that Russia and Iran has their back as well. And plus the other nations that have ICBM of Eurasia and all that. Okay? So that's keeping it real, people. All right? So they didn't look for a ceasefire. That was Israel. All right? Anyway, we'll end this here. We'll be right back with parts 2, 3, and 4. Shalom.